Welcome back to a brand new episode of VaporNews STL. I'm your host Emerson, and in this episode, my co-host Sebastian and I will be interviewing Auragraph, who recently played a show for us here in St. Louis at Pop's Blue Moon. We will be picking his brain with some questions pertaining to his upcoming release, The New Standard, his life in general, some of his processes in the studio, and his takes on Vaporwave. Afterward, we'll move over to our anchor-at-large Timothy Morrison, where he's conducting live interviews post-show of fans, live painters, and Auragraph himself. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of VaporNews STL. Today, we'll be interviewing Auragraph, asking him some questions about his upcoming release.
Yeah, excited.
Me too. Yeah. We'll dig right into it. What are some areas of inspiration you pulled on when constructing this?
Yeah, so for the new record, I think a lot of the inspiration came from a tour I did last year. So I did this big road trip that I think it was around 5,000 miles, from LA to Michigan and back. And I just was playing a lot of stuff live, kind of getting the reaction from people. And when I came back home, I was definitely in a post-tour funk, which I guess is super common. I'd never experienced it before, but I started writing a bunch of ambient music, and I thought that was going to be kind of the path for the new release. And none of it was really sticking, and I just was kind of reflecting on the tour. And I think a lot of the, not so much an issue, but a lot of things that I had, maybe wanted to strive for on the tour were not met because the music that I was performing was not, I don't want to say up to par, but the tempo was a lot slower, so it was kind of a more chill out sort of set,
I can relate to that.
Yeah, and I wanted people to kind of have more fun, dance, have a good time. I as well wanted to perform with more energy, and so I kind of skipped the ambient idea and started working on more just faster paced music, and that's kind of how New Standard came to be over the course of 4 or 5 months. I was just in the studio, wake up at 5 a.m., get out there, make a bunch of music, or try to make little ideas, and then just it just kind of happened that way. And I would start playing the tracks live, and it was definitely getting to that zone that I was kind of imagining.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's kind of how it came to be.
People were dancing more. You felt like you found your
I felt
tempo,
felt like I found more of a groove with it, and I wanted every track that I that I was making to I wanted to be able to perform it live. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. We've often been in the recent months when we want to start building sets so where we can really trigger things live and build things in live loop and all of that.
Totally. A lot of my older stuff, I don't perform it live. And I was, the year before, I was putting out a bunch of records and, not playing any of them live. And I didn't want to do that with this one. I was I want this one to be different. I want to, actually have a cycle where I can, make a record, tour the record, perform the tracks, and do it for a while where I don't get so tired of the music,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how it came to be.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Were there some areas of aesthetic or a kind of theme that you were trying to go for when you were building it, or were you just kind of pulling songs out of your heart and you're this is it?
Yeah, no aesthetic or theme. I think all the tracks have a similar flow because I was working with an MPC for the first time, making all the music on an MPC, MPC 60, which is an older piece of kit.
Okay.
And whenever you turn it on and there's a blank sequence, it always starts at 120. So typically I would just kind of turn it on and start working on the MPC, and then sometimes I would turn it up quicker or turn it down to be a little slower, but that was kind of the base point for a lot of the tracks. So I think they all kind of have a similar flow because of that. Like, I didn't really think too hard about it. It's just like, turn it on and go. Like, I don't have that much time to make music in the morning, so I wanted to do something like pretty efficient. And
that's cool.
Yeah, didn't think too hard about the visuals of it until later, like after the music was done.
Sometimes it kind of speaks for itself and will build it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your mind, kind of what you want things to.
I like building like visual stuff after the music's made. It's kind of easier. Yeah, I think. Instead of doing it reverse, you know.
If you could suggest like a specific way for listeners to listen to your album for the first time, like, you know, driving in a car late at night or laying in bed with headphones with an old TV show, no sound on or something like that. Is there any ideas that come to your mind for that?
For the new record, specifically, I would say come see it live, because I played most of the tracks live, and my new set is kind of like a DJ set. I still use hardware, but everything flows, and I think that would be like my optimal way. It also just sounds better live. Like, there's more energy, things are more raw, and I think, yeah, it's just a different experience. So I would say that's probably would be my number one.
So, what's a childhood memory that Vaporwave reminds you of?
Just like the genre?
Yeah.
On its own? Like video game stuff. I feel like a lot of times I'm listening to like specific Vaporwave, I like just, I don't know, like Mario 64 or like Zelda. Like,
nice.
I pick up a lot of tones like that, especially if I hear, it happens a lot when I listen to specific synthesizers. Like, if I hear the DX7, I think of Super Mario 64. And
the
like,
water level.
If I hear the Wave Station, I think of Zelda a lot.
Yeah.
Like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. But yeah, probably mostly that. No specific like childhood memories. Yeah,
that absolutely.
Maybe further down the road, but
qualifies.
Yeah.
So, who inspired you to make the kind of music you do today?
I think a lot of like Aphex Twin, Boards of Canada, Warp Records.
Of Boards.
Yeah, Catalog. I listen to a lot of Ghostly Records.
Me too.
Ghostly International.
All those guys.
Yeah, when I was first kind of starting to dabble with electronic music. So that was kind of where I was like pulling inspiration from. But more lately, it's been like a lot of my friends' music, like local LA bands that I'm inspired by. So I try to pull from different like resources, I guess, old and new, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm gonna shut this. Put this on mute.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What are some of your favorite artists right now?
Right now, it's a good question. I really like Spike Hellis. They're some friends of mine. They're from LA, and they have a really great sound. They're doing like pretty unique stuff and have like a killer live show. So I'm like really into them. From the label I'm on, like Deus, super into like Choir Boy. They're also some friends of mine, and they make great music. Drab Majesty, they're also really cool. Been listening a lot to like Lies Records, based in New York. Like the new Ron Morelli release is sick. Puerto Negra, they're like a sick band from Portland. Mutant from Austin. There's a lot of good stuff right now that is out.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Windows 96, great.
Oh, nice.
The new George record's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
Been listening to that a bunch. Negi Jemmy's record is sick too. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good music right now. So
for sure,
there's no shortage.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious to know a little bit more about you working on the set of Stranger Things, or at least in the audio side of things. just how was that? What kind of things did you help contribute to that? I think that's so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. I work with the composing duo, Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein, as their assistant. So I get to help. We're not on set too much. It's all like post production
Cool.
type stuff, but I specifically get to help like set templates up, like Logic sessions with like music in them. Um, Sometimes I get to do some like temping, which is just trying out different pieces of music over tops of scenes, and sometimes I get to like make stuff, which is also very fun. But yeah, it's a dream job, super cool. Right now, writers are on strike, so not sure when.
That'll come back around.
Yeah, it always does. Like it's a thing that happens, but yeah, it's like the coolest job. I get to work
That's super cool.
on music all the time, which is very fun.
Yeah,
So,
dude, that's such a blessing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
totally.
So, how do you go about making your album art?
Typically I use Blender, which is like a 3D software, and yeah, I don't like. I'll just try different things when I'm like trying to come up with different like concepts. Typically I'll go through like 2 or 3 different ideas before I like find one, but I always know when like I start constructing, I'm like, oh, this is the vibe,
Yeah.
But more recently, like on the record that's coming out in November, on Deus, I'm working with a graphic designer on this one, so I'm not doing art for the first time or second time, because Memory Tracer wasn't art by me either. That was Claire Byrne in Chicago, and this new one is by Nathaniel Young. So he's doing like all the text and like coloration, and it kind of took the project in a different direction, and it allowed me to think in a different way, like getting like a logo done for the project, like stuff like that, and it kind of feels maybe a little different than like the 3D stuff. And we tried a lot of the 3D stuff originally, but it just wasn't the direction. It just kind of like went on its own. But yeah, typically if I'm making like art, I'll start with just a blank Blender project, and like I'll just start like downloading models, throwing them in there, making like some chaotic shit, and then yeah, it just kind of like works out at some point. But yeah, just like try different things.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Just to see where they go. I like the new vibe. I think that Daniel's done a really good job.
Yeah, I'm like super stoked on it. It's like definitely different, but it's cool, and I'm excited to see it like blown up on a 12-inch. Like that always feels really good, to see like your art or just like someone else's art that like represents the album on a 12-inch. It's just like
Yes.
Feels cool. Yeah.
Totally. So we'll be wrapping things up here pretty soon.
Right on.
I wanted to ask you, what does vaporwave mean to you?
Vaporwave. So I think of it a lot less as a genre, because people tag vaporwave with stuff that's not even like, OG vaporwave or whatever, and there's like all this debate on like online about it or whatever. I don't know. I personally don't even think my stuff is vaporwave. Like I've just released on like vaporwave adjacent labels in the past. So to me, it's much more of a community. Because like you'll go to like events that are like tagged vaporwave or whatever, but I've always met like the nicest and like kindest, coolest people in like the vaporwave community. So I think it's more of a scene, and a lot of the ethos of like vaporwave it's very much similar to like punk, DIY, like stuff like that, which I'm a big fan of. I've always like done everything on my own when it comes to making art, and yeah, I like see a lot of similar traits in vaporwave and stuff like that. So yeah, to me it's less about like is this like sampled vaporwave or whatever. That doesn't matter to me as much. It's just like more about this like awesome, cool group of people that are just making art. So,
Love that.
Passions are beautiful. It's beautiful.
thanks.
I agree. I think that we could all like look at the genre and music that we're in a little more that way, a little bit more about, you know, the human connection there rather than, you know, of course, like the aesthetic and all that goes into it matters and brings things to the table. But at the end of the day, it's really about the people that are enjoying it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the artists making it, like
Right.
Yeah.
supporting, trying to support like some sort of like healthy scene, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Do you have any advice for future artists looking to get into their own little niche?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you like making art or making music, just keep doing it. Don't stop. You know, if you enjoy it, like, just keep going. Also, I think if you're first trying to get into like making music or like building a scene, just get offline and like go out into your like community, your local music community, and like talk to people, talk to other bands. Like, even if you don't have anything to do with them genre wise, like get to know who's like, you know, working in the industry that you want to be a part of, you know. I think that's very important, especially for me. Like when I was first starting out, like there was no like Discord servers or like anything kind of remotely. There was like Facebook and MySpace, but it wasn't. People were doing things like out in the real world a lot more, and I think the online element is really cool. But if you're just starting out with music, I think you will like kind of things will happen quicker for you if you like go and talk to people and like just learn. You know, you can learn quicker that way than there's only so much you can do online. Even though there's like an infinite web of knowledge and shit, but yeah, I think you got to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like too lazy to click a link or whatever a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You just get it in their face.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, people are much more willing to like open up and speak like in real life.
Right.
IRL. But yeah, I don't know. That would be my advice. Just keep going, you know, if you like doing it, like, I don't know. Listen to yourself, like, trust your intuition, and also don't be so hard on yourself, because, you know, I think a lot of people can probably get hung up and, like, not want to put stuff out because it's like, how is this going to be perceived or whatever, but, like, who fucking cares, you know, if you like it, sick.
Yeah.
Other people will probably like it too, you know, if you yourself are into it, like, chances are there's other people like you out there.
Yeah.
So,
Truly.
Good
Yeah.
message.
Very good message. Thank you for that. You know, I'm sure somebody out there is going to find some inspiration and hopefully bring us all something beautiful that we need to hear.
yeah.
Auragraph, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. My name is Emerson. This is Sebastian. We've been asking Auragraph about his new upcoming release, The New Standard. Good night, everybody.
We hope you found all of that enjoyable and learned something new or useful. We will now be moving over to our anchor at large, Timothy Morrison, with some exclusive post-show interviews, as well as an interview from Auragraph himself.
Here we are, VaporNews STL, live in action with Auragraph himself, Mr. Carlos. He is out touring right now, going to see the United States of America.
That's right.
So now, Carlos, what is your actual favorite city to play in?
Who do you got? Probably St. Louis.
Whoa, let's go!
I'm not gonna lie on that one.
Bro, I mean, like, I've been all over myself, and I mean, I've been to a lot of shows everywhere, but St. Louis is pretty lit.
St. Louis is sick, New York is sick, LA is sick.
I mean, those are essentials, you got that to say, but St. Louis is on that map with those, so like, a shout out to artists that want to come out here too.
Yeah, come to St. Louis. St. Louis is fucking dope.
It is. We are all about the hospitality here, and we love it. So, you played here a live show tonight with us and granted us with your presence, and it was amazing.
Thank you.
So sick. I mean, were you trying to go with a new direction of like playing a lot of your new songs and didn't want to go with your olds, so letting a palette of that out there?
I feel like, yeah, I just want to play some new stuff because
Okay.
I get pretty bored of my live sets like pretty quickly. So
Yeah,
I just kind of wanted to reinvent it and like try some different material out.
It's good because I mean, especially if you're playing night to night, show to show, and if you're playing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how it's strenuous.
I feel like after a year, it's just, yeah, I just want to try some new stuff. So
That's awesome. That's so sick. I mean, I got some
Thanks.
footage of it, so I'm definitely going to be posting it.
Hell yeah,
online.
dude.
We need that out there because we want to spread the love all over, and we want everyone to know that we love you, and we love you for coming
I love
here.
you.
Yes.
Love you.
And we need
Thanks for watching.
more people to come out here like this and party with us. So hopefully in the future we'll have you back.
Totally. Please, as soon as possible.
Thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you.
We are here with
Maddie B.
Matt
Barrier, yeah.
And Calypso.
Maddie B, Calypso. Tonight they partied with us. They had a great time. Now, I can't feel words in their mouth. I want to know from their personal experience how they felt tonight.
Oh, it was absolutely lit. I showed up here with this canvas mostly undone, and now it is 100% done. Beautiful, inspired by the very music we heard performed. The sets were amazing. Emerson's voice was angelic. Auragraph was fucking fantastic. Auragraph, sorry, I'm tipsy.
It's all good, man. And now, what did you think of that show?
It was really captivating. It used the astral vibe to totally like inspire the whole theme going on. So that was great. It was awesome. Beyond words.
So these two actually painted these while they were listening to this lovely music tonight. And it was also played an influential role on what they had created. Now, let me ask you, how long have you been painting?
Oh, since I was like a toddler.
Man, he's had it in his hands since he was a little kid.
Yo.
You've been like,
Love it.
look at that,
Don't
some
wanna do
Picasso.
anything else.
Now, how long have you been painting?
Like a couple of years. I'm more of a musician, but I always dabbled in both.
Musician! Man, that's pretty sick. I don't know. That's pretty awesome that you guys have this art here. Tonight we have
Clayton
and
Justin.
Clayton and Justin here with us, giving their takes on Vaporwave. And the lovely scene that we have going in here. When was your first Vaporwave show?
Well, probably about 2 years ago, actually, at this point.
2 years ago. Who did you see?
Sound Market, and then a couple other guys that I haven't seen since, but Sound Market was one that I still remember.
Pivotal. All right. What was your favorite Vaporwave show?
So I'm gonna disagree with Clayton in that his memory is wrong. Our first Vaporwave show may have been the one that was at the Monocle, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I believe Sound Martin was there.
He was there, yeah.
That is a fantastic venue that no longer exists, and I'm very sad about it. It is what it is at this point, yes.
Wow. We still have some strong scenery around us.
Oldest bar in St. Louis, right here.
Oldest bar.
That's right.
Pops.
That's for everyone who cares to know, the bar back here, right, was provided by the Anheuser-Busch Company because they wanted all of the bars to look the same, because that's really weird and fucked up.
All the bars the same. Do you agree, America? Let us know in the comments.